let's just jump right into our topic today.
Absolutely. Now, don't shortchange me. It's 24 books, not 10, Tom.
Oh man, 24.
There's a big difference between 24 and 10. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. I love Tom. Tom and I go way back. I worked with him for probably 2 years coaching with him. I see Steve McCarthy on here. I've been out to Steve's neck of the woods in California. So I see a lot of familiar faces, guys. It's good to see you. I'm sitting here in Nashville at this new place I built, this $8 million training complex called the Greatness Factory in downtown Nashville. So those are real people back there, folks. That's not a...
Yes, it is. I actually walked by your place. Lexi and I were in Nashville. I go, hey, that's Coach Bert's place right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually doing a big real estate event here today with leaders from your company. So I'm excited to coach about 100 leaders who are coming in this afternoon for a 4-hour session here at the Greatness Factory. So, man, I'm thrilled to be with you today. And Tom, thank you for having me. And I'm gonna do something a little bit different that may seem a little controversial. How many of you have been told to find your why?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And this is where the controversy comes in, right? Because my new book that's coming out is called Screw Your Why. Okay. And you're like, what? Right? Like I thought I was supposed to find my why. Well, I was speaking at a big insurance conference probably 2 or 3 years ago. You guys know I've coached a lot of the top leaders at your company and a lot of real estate mortgage. We probably coach 50 different mortgage companies and I mean, just great people all over the world. And I was at a conference probably 4 years ago, and I was on this panel, and the person got up and raised their hand and said, Coach, I'm really just having a hard time finding my why. And I just don't know. I kind of feel like a loser because I haven't found my why. And something inside of me, Ronald Frazier, I just out of my mouth before I even thought about it, I said, man, I don't think you need to find your why. I think you need to screw your why. And people just started clapping and cheering and they was like, what? Like, this is crazy. And I go, what I think you actually need to find is your skills. And then I actually think you need to find the problem that you are uniquely qualified to solve. And then I think you need to find the vehicle that is the right vehicle to distribute your unique skills through. And I think Stephanie Peck, in the process of finding your skill and solving a problem that you are fascinated by and motivated by through the right distribution channel for that skill, I actually believe your purpose will find you. And when I said that, the place went wild. I mean, it's like 1,000 people, cheering, and it was like, this is crazy. So at that moment, Jackie, I knew I was onto something. And when you write books like I do, 24 books, I'm always looking for what I call vuja day. You guys heard of deja vu? It's like I've heard of this before. I'm always looking for a fresh twist on an old way of thinking. Okay. And I started asking myself, I have been coaching people for 36 years now. First as a women's basketball coach, championship coach, then billion-dollar companies, then individuals. I probably coached 100,000 real estate professionals. And I started asking myself a deeper question. Could a person know their purpose, but still lack motivation to go into battle every day? Could a person know their why, but still struggle financially? Could a person know their why and go, man, I don't feel like selling houses today. I don't feel like doing this today. I don't want to do this today. So I started kind of playing around with this concept probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I go, I could actually know my purpose. I actually believe God put me on this earth to coach people, help them with their potential. I can't cook. I'm geographically illiterate. I can't fix a car. I can't fix anything. If anything tears up, my wife has to fix it. Okay. Because I was raised by a single mom and I didn't have a dad who taught me a lot of these things. But when it comes to activating people, businesses, brands, people, I know that's my purpose, but that doesn't mean I wake up every day motivated. Doesn't mean I wake up every day and go, well, let's go into battle today. Okay. So I started calling my top producers. So I call the top mortgage people I coach. I call the top real estate people I coach, the top 5. And I said, what's your why? And guess what they told me, Don Yoakum? All 5 of them said, I have no idea what my why is. And here's what they said to me, Matthew. They go, it's just who I am. I just get up and go get it because that's who I am, man. That's who I am. Okay. I started going, okay, what if finding our why doesn't solve our problem? What if knowing our purpose doesn't solve every problem? What do we really need to find? So I kind of started working on this book, and I knew it was going to be controversial when I wrote it, but it's like, okay, let's focus on finding 3 things. Number 1, let's focus on finding our primary skill. Okay. And I want you to think of a primary skill as there's a difference between a talent, an ability, and a skill. And I talk about this in the book. You were born with certain talents, right? Those talents have to be found. They have to be refined. They have to be used. And then they kind of move to abilities, right? Now, so let's say that Lenny Sharp has a unique ability in connecting to people, or taking complicated things and making them simple, or he's got a marketing mind that can see things, or he's a great leader of leaders, right? These are all abilities. He takes that ability and he kind of boils it down into a primary skill. Okay, so I want you to think of yourself as having a primary skill. I have the skill of activation. I can activate people. I can activate brands. I can activate businesses. I can take dormant things and activate them. I can activate potential. I can activate people to want to get a seat at a bigger table. Look at how I've taken it. Now, where did that come from? It comes from my past. I'm actually paying you for your past. Your past helps me to build my future. So you may think in very general terms, like I'm a great salesman. Well, I would push back on you and go, what makes you a great salesman? Are you great? Are you great at connecting people? Are you great at lowering walls of resistance? Are you great at taking something complicated and making it simple? Are you great at intrinsically validating people? You take the top leaders at your company right now and step back and ask yourself this question. What skill do they really have? What skill does Brent Gove really have? What skill does a John Maxwell really have? What skill does an Ed Milet really have? What skill does a Coach Burt really have? What's the skill? The people with the best skills typically earn the most money. Okay? Just think in the NBA, the players with the most skills make the most money. So I want you to think of yourself, if I could ask you right now to boil your talents and abilities down to one skill, what would you say that skill is? So if Clark was asking me, Coach Burt, I know you're a coach, they consider you a coach, I would actually say, Clark, actually, based on my unique past and my unique experiences and my unique education, I actually have become a specialist. I actually consider myself a specialist. And I'm a specialist at activating people and activating businesses and activating brands. Notice I didn't use the word coach right there. Now, why did I not use the word coach? Kevin Ortiz, why would I not use the word coach? Any guess?
I think you've got to find your own.
That's right.
Your own purpose, so
No
coaching
different
that person to find that is irrelevant, I think.
Yeah, no different than if you just called yourself a realtor. And in Tennessee, it's 3 syllables, folks. I'm in Nashville. Realtor is 3 syllables.
Yeah. How many realtors? How many coaches are there in the country?
Yeah.
A lot.
So here's the question, Kevin. There's 800,000 people in the United States that call themselves a coach today. The average income of those coaches is $47,000 a year. In my company, we're trying to do $47,000 a day, not a year. Okay. There is a significant difference between people who are pros and who are true specialists, who can truly move the needle, and people who just wake up and call themselves. No different than there's a true difference between a person who woke up and said, I'm a realtor because I want to cash checks and drive Cadillacs, right? But they're not really specialists. So what the top people I've coached, you guys know I've coached Jay Kinder, I've coached Al Stasic, I've coached. I've had everybody from Veronica Figueroa to Go Bethke to Tom to, you name them. I've coached them in some way. Every one of them, if you really had to boil it down, guys, had a primary skill. And it's like, that dude is incredible at that. What is that? So if you could sum your skill up today, and I'd love to see what you say. If mine is activation. Now, once I figured this out, Doug Williams, I figured out that I could activate capital. I figured I could activate real estate. I figured out I could activate, right? And in the book, I show you 40 different ways that I have generated income from one skill. The same skill used in 40 different ways. Everybody with me? Okay. So I want you to type into the chat box, what do you think your primary skill is of all the skills that you have? Now, before you post, you can't say something basic. Like Tom can't say, well, I'm good with people, or I got a good personality. Or in Tom's case, I'm good looking and handsome, right? You can't say these basic things. You got to go, man, I think I'm really a specialist at this. What is that? So let's start with that. What is your primary skill? We're not finding our why today. We're screwing our why. What we're finding is our skill. Okay. So type in the chat box what you think your primary skill is. All right. And see, attracting and retaining talent. But there's even a deeper skill, Tom. There's actually a deeper skill that makes you a specialist at activating talent and at recruiting and attracting talent. What is that? Got a high trust factor. You can communicate quickly to people. You can, right? People like you immediately. You can talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. I want to challenge this group to think deeper about their primary skills, not surface level. Okay. Okay. Encouragement. I want you to think deeper, Patrick, than just relationship building. I'm a specialist at diving deep quickly to make an impact. That's a good way of saying it. Everybody with me? Okay. Making people feel heard. I'm really a specialist. Now, there's 9 types of listening. If you guys ever see Ed Milet speak, like in Cabo when we were there speaking, so I actually use this in the book as an example. Milet says he has 2 superpowers. One is listening. Okay. And one is outworking people. So I actually ask in the book, this question, is just listening a superpower? There's actually 9 different types of listening, right? There's forensic listening. There's strategic listening. There's active listening. I actually ask in the book, could outworking people be a skill? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And it could be a skill if it's used in a certain way, right? Like Milet kind of breaks the day down into, right? You can get 3 days in one day. Like I use time as a tool. Benjamin Hardy uses time as a tool to scale things. That's a skill. I know how to use time as a tool and get 3 days in every one day. Is everybody starting to think here? So instead of thinking generic, like just work ethic or tenacity is okay, but I want you to think of answering this question. So instead of seeing yourself as a realtor, which is commoditized, I want you to start seeing yourself as a specialist. And I want you to think of answering this question. It's called the double shift. And the shift is in how you see you. You're not just a realtor. You're not just a real estate agent. You're so much more than that. You with me? Nothing wrong with just being a real estate agent, but I want you to think different. So the first shift is how you see you. Now, here's an example. Treva. That's a name you won't forget. Treva, right? Now, here's the way I could see myself. What if today I'm speaking, Randy Bandy, and I go to these real estate agents. Guys, I was a high school basketball coach, a championship high school basketball coach for 13 years. Some of those people are going to go, okay, great, man. You were a high school coach. It's not like you were coaching at Connecticut or UCLA. But what if I say, I spent 13 years really becoming a specialist at activating competitive intelligence in teams and inner engineering people to play at the absolute highest levels and winning national championships and amalgamating players, amalgamating talent into one powerhouse. Does that sound better than saying I was a high school basketball coach? Yes or no? See, the second one, Doug Williams, a Fortune 500 company would buy the way I explained it the second time. A Fortune 500 company wouldn't hire a high school basketball coach to come in and coach their people. But they would hire a specialist to come in that's a specialist at building competitive intelligence, a specialist at amalgamating talent, a specialist at activating the prey drive in people. A Fortune 500 company would pay a lot of money for that skill. They wouldn't pay a lot of money just for a high school basketball coach to come in there. Everybody see the difference? Okay. So the first shift is in how you see you. Okay. So when people ask you this question, you could say, yeah, I'm a realtor. Or you could say, based on my unique past and my unique experiences, I've really developed a specialized skill in this. I actually use that skill to solve this problem for people. Okay. So Patrick James, money changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people pay to solve the problem. Everybody with me? Okay. Now, I have a house down in Seaside, Florida, which is where they made the Truman Show. If you've ever seen the Truman Show, it's one of the happiest places on the planet. The happiness factor there. I know you guys are out in California and you got a high happiness factor too. But when you go down to my house where I'm going tonight, I'm flying down, and me and my wife are going to be down there for the next 3 or 4 days shooting some content. And I tell people the happiness factor's got to be in the high 90s here, man. People are so freaking happy. They're riding their bicycles. They're walking. They're riding their golf carts. But the average sale of a house right now down there is probably 2.9 million is the average. And then it goes all the way up to 20 or 30 million, depending on where you are on the beach. There's 4,000 agents competing for this much space on that area. Everybody hear what I just said? 4,000, and it's less than 35 to 40 miles of beach. There's 4,000 agents. And I think about if I were going down there, I wouldn't just say, well, which agent should I use? I would say, which agent is the best at? Which agent is a specialist? Who's the best negotiator? Who's the best at marketing and selling a property? Who's got the deepest networks? So I want you to think about yourself as a specialist versus a generalist. And you have a very specialized skill. And you use that skill to solve a problem. Now, what is the exact problem that you solve? Okay. And how big of a problem is it? And in the book, I talk about this. There's 3 types of problems, Stephanie Peck. There's small problems that pay small payouts. There's big problems that pay big payouts. And there's messy problems that pay premium payouts. Okay. So I want you to think about big, juicy problems that you could solve with your skill. Okay. Big, juicy problems that you could solve. So you have a skill and you solve a problem. So let me give you an example. Yesterday, I was coaching a $6 billion company called Athene. And Athene is in the annuity business, big company, big corporation. And they kind of dominate annuities. And they brought 30 of their leaders here for me to coach. And here was their problem, Don. Because of market forces, they've changed the compensation structure of their salespeople. So the salespeople actually have to work smarter, harder to make the same amount of money they were making last year. And they're not too happy about that. Okay. So they're demotivated. So they brought me in to reset their mindset, to say this, to get them thinking, this is one of the greatest companies in the world. We're fortunate to work here. We can all make millions of dollars working here, right? Because they kind of got into this funk and they want these people motivated and activated. So they said, we want to bring them to the greatness factory. We want you to reset their activation, reset their prey drive. And when they leave, coach, we want them thinking, man, this is the greatest place in the world to work at. And we achieved that yesterday. They left. Guy comes back, goes, we want to do more things with you, coach. Now, that's a messy problem. You got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of salespeople. The compensation structure's changed. They're all mad about it. They want to keep them motivated. Okay. So I used the skill, Mina, to solve a problem for the company. They compensated me in that structure of, I don't know, maybe 30 grand for me to do that. Okay. They brought them to my building and we're going to do more with each other. So the guy said, let's set a call to do more things here. Okay. So we got a skill. We got a problem. So I want you to type in the chat box, what is the biggest problem that you solve? You know, I was coached by Dan Sullivan and he used to say, who would write you the largest check for your skill set? Who writes you the largest check for your skill set? Type it in the chat box. All right. Mina's got her skill. Ooh, I like that equestrian. Helping people through transition. I would give every person a copy of the book Transitions by William Bridges if they're going through a tough transition. Divorce, loss of something, change of life, kids leaving. It's the best book I've ever read on transitions. If you're going through a funk and you went through a transition, William Bridges' book Transitions is the best. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Finding and connecting people. Yeah, Hurley was a great high school. Listening and being a voice of support, helping people through transitions. Okay, let's put our problems we're solving in here. Come on, folks. Don't make me fly out to California and run you around the parking lot. All right. You are a specialist based on your unique past and your unique skills. All right. While you're writing that down, I want to give an example. I started working with a guy down in Florida that owns Florida Financial Advisors, and he sold 60% of that company for $123 million. And he has 750 20 to 30-year-olds on the phones every day selling financial services. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And when I do a Zoom coaching session with them, they have literally 750 20 to 30-year-olds. All their cameras are on. They're taking notes. They're hungry, humble, and teachable. He is training them. He is a specialist at recruiting, training, and developing talent. Okay? He's a specialist at recruiting, training, right? What problem is he solving? Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Direction and opportunity for 20 to 30-year-olds. Everybody with me? Pulls them right out of college, gets them right into his system. That company's doing about $67 million in profit with 20 to 30-year-olds on the phone every day selling financial services. It's crazy. So the more I got to work with him, the more I saw, man, this dude is really an expert. So what did I do with that guy? I go, we need you to write a book on building to lead and building to scale because you're really an expert. I'm going to put you on podcast. We're going to start doing webinars together. We're going to start doing StreamYards together, which is where we stream out content. We're going to start doing events together. And we're going to take your skill set and we're actually going to push it out to the marketplace so people know that you have this skill. And people are going to start coming to you and you're going to recruit these people and put them in your downline because what he wants to do is turn around and build that company a second time and probably sell it for $500 million. Okay. He is a specialist. What problem is he solving? He's solving a problem for the 20 to 30-year-old who is looking for direction, guidance, counsel to be put into a vehicle. And he is a master at it. I mean, a master. It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Okay, let's do some Q&A right here. We got our skill. Remember, we're not finding our why, Stacy. We're finding our skill. Okay, then we're going to find the problem that we are fascinated and motivated by. All right. Example, Steve McCarthy. I was coaching a real estate agent doing 35 transactions a year. He'd done 35 transactions a year for 10 years. I started coaching him and I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to make $500,000 a year I said, you're never going to do it the way you're doing it. You're one agent, you're doing 35 transactions. Your history tells me you've done 35. You will never get to 500,000 the way you're doing it. And I said, what do you really want to do? He said, well, I grew up without my father. My father died when I was 10. I had no direction, no guidance. I wasted a lot of my life messing around and goofing off. And he said, I really want to mentor young men in how to be men because I didn't have that. And I go, bingo. Let's go recruit some 18 to 22-year-old young men who are rough, unpolished, most likely didn't have a father. And I'm going to coach you and I want you to be their coach. And I want you to coach them every freaking day and how to dress, how to show up, how to act, how to be somebody, how to do what you said you're going to do, how to be a man. And he starts coaching these 18 to 22-year-old kids. Okay. He's got these kids doing 50, some of them 50 transactions a year. He went from doing 35 deals a year to 219 deals and he made the $500,000 he was looking for. Now, so I said, do you like real estate? He said, I don't even like real estate. I don't even like selling real estate. I don't even like being a real estate agent. And I go, okay, let's use the vehicle of real estate. Let's use your skill set of mentoring and coaching young men who are rough, unpolished, don't have a father figure. You're going to become kind of a surrogate parent to them. You're going to make them show up. You're going to get on to them when they're late. You're going to tell them how to dress, and you're going to teach them how to sell real estate. And I'm telling you guys, he gets them in there every day. He coaches them from 8:30 to 10 every morning. These kids come in. I mean, you should see how rough these kids are. Then I'll go back maybe 6 months later and they're dressing, they're wearing nice jeans and they got a jacket on and they're on the phone and they're changing and they're looking and they're calling me and they're like, Coach, I want to learn some more. It is a little transformation factory. And he's a real estate agent. Everybody see that? So you could tell me today, I don't even like selling real estate. I don't like it. It's okay. It's okay. Let's find your skill and let's find the problem you want to solve. So is everybody clear in the problem they would like to solve? Okay. Somebody asked me one day, I'll sit down and write out the problems that I help people solve. And people said, what is your ideal market, Coach? And I said, rich and confused. Isn't that a good market? They're rich and they're confused. And they come to me and they go, man, I sold my company for $50 million and I don't know what to do next. And I'm 52 years old. And I go, okay, let me help you find your skill and let me help you find the problem you want to solve. And let's choose the vehicle. But that's a market, wealthy and confused. Okay. There's a market of first-time real estate agents. There's a market of agents doing 10 million and above. There's the Jay Kenders and Al Stasics, by the way, who came to me when they said, I'm burned out, I'm exhausted, and I need to reactivate my prey drive. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago. They're like, I'm burned out, I lost my prey drive, and I need you to help me reactivate my prey drive. And I go, okay. And I didn't even know who they were. I didn't even know they were at the top of the company. I just thought they were 2 dudes. And then I kind of got in there and started coaching them. I'm like, man, you guys are 2 real serious dudes. So when you think about it, everybody has problems. Okay, here's a problem some people have: incremental growth. You hit the same number every year. You work as hard, you get to the same place every year. That's a problem, right? You can't figure out how to show a quantum leap. How many of you would agree that going from 35 deals to 219 is a quantum leap? It's a quantum leap. Okay, so that's the problem I solved for that person. So remember our 3 problems. Small problems pay small money. Big problems pay big money. Messy problems pay premium money. Okay, so now we have our problem. We got our skill, we got our problem. And the third piece of this equation is the vehicle. It's the vehicle. And the vehicle for you is your real estate company. It's your real estate business. Okay, now let me ask you a hard question. Can your vehicle in its current condition get you to your goals? The way it's currently structured, I always like to say you can't drive to Hawaii. You can fly to Hawaii, you can take a boat to Hawaii, but you can't drive there, okay? So when I look at my vehicle, I go, can my vehicle in its current condition get me to my financial goals? So what am I looking for? Time freedom, money freedom, relationship freedom, purpose freedom. If you have those 4 things, you have what's called ultimate freedom. So how do I structure the business in such a way that it can get me to my goals? Okay. Now, Lexi, what I do is I start off with a big goal and I go, this year, I would like to have 5,000 people in my coaching program. And seems like a big number. It's like, this is a crazy number, right? Then I go, who could help me do this? Who could help me do this? And I ask that question every day. Who can help me? What action do I need to take to get to 5,000? And I'm sitting around one day and I'm thinking feeder systems, strategic partners. And I go to a woman who publishes books. Okay. And she's one of the top publishers in the US. And I've known her for the last 3 or 4 years. And I go, look, you got a great publishing business. But the people who write a book with you have no idea how to make money with these books. They have no idea how to speak, get on a stage, market, build a coaching program. Why don't you let me do that part? And why don't we create a package where every client you get gets a year's worth of coaching from me at a flat rate of $3,600. Okay. So you're currently charging $14,900, about $15,000. I go bump your pricing to $20,000. You give me $3,600. You keep an extra $1,400. And I said, just out of curiosity, how many books are you publishing a month? Dawn, you ready for this? She says 200. I said, you're publishing 200 books a month? Now, if I can pull this off, I want you to pray for me on this one. It's a big one. Okay. If I can pull this off, that would mean, Doug Williams, that she would be feeding me 200 new clients a month, which is 2,400 clients a year, which is about 8.3 million new dollars. If I can pull this one relationship off. Does everybody see that? Now, what did I say my big goal was? To have 5,000 members. What if I could get 2,400 of those members through one relationship? Now, this is called a feeder system. You all have feeder systems. Those are people who feed you business. What if you had one feeder system that fed you 10 new clients a year? What if you have 5 feeder systems? So Stacy, after I thought about that, I go, who else is publishing books? Well, Forbes is publishing books. And they're publishing about, 1,000, 2,000 books a year. What if I formed a partnership with Forbes and all of those people got coaching from me? Because I'm telling you, you write a book, you have no idea what to do with the book. And no, you don't have to make money with the book. You don't have to get leads with the book. You don't have to do anything. And I do know how to do that. So I'm like, okay, I can activate this asset if we do a partnership with each other. Because I was looking at my business and I'm going, I can't get to 5,000 the way I'm doing it. I can't get to 5,000 clients the way I'm doing it. I need to. So what if I got a vehicle and the vehicle can't get me to my goals? There's 3 things I can do. I can tweak the vehicle. That means I kind of restructure the vehicle. I'm restructuring, I'm tweaking it. Number 2, I could torch the vehicle and I could just burn it down and go, we need to start over. Or number 3, I could use the vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, today I've got a very successful broker coming in that's going to meet with me at 12:30. He makes about 1.7 million a year. And I said, what do you think about the brokerage, having the brokerage? And he said, well, it's not my favorite part of the deal, but he said, but I really use the brokerage to meet people. And with those people, because he does apartment complexes and bigger investments. And he said, I really need the brokerage to meet the people so that I can do bigger deals. Everybody with me? So he is using the brokerage to meet new people to do bigger deals. Okay. So there's 3 ways here. I can tweak it, I can torch it, or I can use it. I can change the way I see it. Okay. Now we've got a formula here, folks. We've got a skill. We didn't find our why. We found our skill. Okay. Then we found the problem that we are motivated and fascinated by. And then we need to look at the vehicle we're in. And when these 3 things line up, I think what's going to happen is you're going to roll up one day and you're going to go, gosh, I think this is my purpose. You know that 88% of people live their entire life and never find their purpose. 88%.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. With my new book, I'm trying to solve this problem. Because I don't think I think they sit around and think, what's my why? What's my why? I don't know my why. I'm a loser. I don't know. Just forget it. I'm just going to go to work, do my thing. I'm going to wake up one day and they never spend time asking this question. What is my skill? Now, Jackie, do you know why I started speaking? Jackie McKelvin. I was a high school coach. I was making $28,000 a year. I was working 80 hours a week. I wrote a book. I went and spoke at Dell Computers, and they paid me more in 1 hour than I made in 320 hours. And I went back that night and I go, what happened? What skill do I have that they would pay me that much money? And what problem did I solve for Dell Computers? And could I do this for a living? I was going to be a college basketball coach. I had no intentions of building a coaching business and writing 24 books. I wanted to win games and go to college and be a championship coach. That was my dream. And then I kind of started coaching adults, and I go, gosh, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I think I'm supposed to be coaching adults. And it pays a lot better. I can work on my time schedule. I don't have to work 320 hours a month. I could actually do this at a higher level, travel around the world, build a better life for my family. And I think my purpose is coaching, but just coaching these people. Now, I did go back and coach my son's 5-year-old baseball team, and I am having a blast. It's one of the funnest things I have done, right? And I'm pushing these kids. And I came home one night and my wife goes, she's my assistant coach. My wife goes, I don't know what just happened there. She's like, she's like, you're yelling at me. You're yelling at the kids. You're yelling at the parents. And she said, I thought this was just T-ball. And I said, this is war. We are going into war, girl. You got to get ready for this. And we're on a 2-game winning streak right now. So here's what I want to show you. The new book. Here's a bonus I'm going to give you guys. This is a lot to unpack. I've kind of spent years working on this. You can get the new book at the website screwyourwhy.com. Now, here's the good news. I'm actually going to give you a second book that's nothing but finding your skill, called The Specialist Effects. You actually get 2 books. Let me make it even better for you, Miriam. And you're going to get 4 weeks of coaching with me on this process. Okay, so you get the book. You get a second book, and you get 4 weeks of coaching of me breaking the book down if you just buy the book. So it's at screwyourwhy.com. Get the book, but really what you want is not just the book, you want the coaching. The coaching is really where I'm going to help you, okay? And you're not going to, it's $97. Listen, you ain't going to get 4 weeks with me for $97 ever, okay? So this is the best promotional I can give you to get you to purchase the book and get the coaching with me. And that starts in May. So screwyourwhy.com. We try to make it simple. Okay. Screwyourwhy.com. And then I've got time for just a few questions here. There you go. What questions do you guys have today?
The organization that sells annuities that had their commissions reduced. How did you get them reinvigorated and inspired to do that with a lower comp plan?
A lot of language. It's the kind of language of I call it the language of winning versus the language of losing. Like learning to tell yourself when there's a departure away from the ideal scene, what can you say to yourself? So I teach people to say, so what, now what? What's next? It is what it is. Let's keep moving. So a lot of it was they wanted me to do the language of winning in the beginning, because what happens when something happens that we don't like is we go to the sewer cycle. And the sewer cycle is we compare, we complain, we contend, we criticize, we become complacent, and we kind of disempower ourselves and allow something external from us to control us. Okay. And so what I spent the whole first hour on was nothing but language. I'm hungry, I'm humble, I'm teachable, I'm alert, I'm curious, I'm responsive. So what, now what? It is what it is, right? The top 1% always outperform other people. So it's really a lot of psychology, but a lot of it is self-talk. If you study a lot of psychology, a lot of it is self-talk. Like you lose a deal, so what, now what? Somebody screws you over, thank you, I owe you. I needed that. I got a little lazy here. I'm going to go get another one. Right? It's like, it's a lot of just boom, just move from it, move from it, move from it. And to their credit, man, they were totally coachable. These guys were, we all get in a funk. We can all go, this is hard. I don't want to do this. It ain't working the way it used to work. Just like with you guys, selling houses at high rates. And it's so easy to go to the sewer cycle and go, man, I don't want to do this, or this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing, or this is a hard business, or I don't like people. And we call that the sewer cycle. Starts with one negative thought.
Coach, I know that you coach the top 1%. And so, but what I'd love you to share is what are the common traits of the top 1% that you see?
There's 5 traits of the top 1%.
This is a writer downer, you guys. Write these down.
Yep. Number one, remarkable boldness. So the top 1% don't just have confidence, they have boldness. Boldness is psychological flexibility. It's the ability to move towards something even if you don't know if it's going to work. Right? I'm willing to try a new strategy. I'm willing to do something new. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to fail. Don't matter. So remarkable boldness is number one. Number two is intrinsic motivation. Mm-hmm. In the book, I talk about the difference between because goals and finding your why. So let me give an example. Reed, if I wait to find my why, I never move. If I know my because goals are big reasons you do things when you don't feel like it. I prospect every day because that's what the best people do. I follow up 7 touches because it takes 7 touches to close a deal. I show up with this attitude because I want to be in the top 1%. See, that's a because goal. It's not found in my why. I do this because of these things. Everybody with me? So that's intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Okay? So number 2 is intrinsic motivation. Number 3, connection. This is probably where you could really learn from a guy like Brent Gove, or, right? The top people work hard to connect to people. Okay? When I was writing the book, Flip the Switch, I reached out to 2 very influential people. One was Ed Mylett. One was another influencer I'm not going to name. And I said, man, Ed, I think you're the right person to write the foreword for my new book, Flip the Switch. That was a Wall Street Journal bestseller for us. And he could have said no, but he didn't. He sent me about a 2 or 3 minute voice text that said, Coach, number one, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I would love to do this for you, but if I do it for you, I'm going to be doing it for hundreds of people. So unfortunately, I can't write the foreword, but what I will do is I would love to write an endorsement, and you tell me what you want me to say and I'll put it on the back, and you could put it as your number 1 endorsement, right? That's how he handled that. So he told me no, but he told me no in a way that I felt good about it. Okay. The other influencer who you guys would know, who's spoken to your group in Cabo before, passed me off to somebody else. I've done a lot of stuff with this guy. Passed me off to somebody else. Then that guy said, no, we don't endorse books because they could become liabilities to us. The people we endorse could become liabilities to us. Now, how do you think I felt about Mylett versus that person? Okay. People text me all day long. People start calling me at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock. That's why I have to change my number all the time, because people start calling me in different countries, all time of day, night, morning, noon, text messages, Instagram. Okay. Connection. Every single interaction with another person is a chance to connect with a person, even through a text message. How you make people feel is very important. Hey, man, thank you for this message. I wish I could do this for you, but unfortunately I can't. The top 1%, you would be shocked how hard they work at connecting people. They work hard at it. Every interaction, every text message, every email. Okay. So number 3 is connection. Number 4, ability to lock in and see something through to its conclusion. There you are. What's up, Brent Gove? I've been talking about you.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
You're a rock star. You know I love you.
Thank you.
Go to the bathroom.
Love you too, brother. So number 4, ability to lock in and see something through to its conclusion.
I'm sorry.
And number 5. Okay. Now I want you to think about this. So we got ability to lock in, see something through to its conclusion. And number 5 is grit and resilience. You can't knock these people down, man. You can't knock them down. They win in any market, right or wrong. You look at the top 1%, they're still kicking people's butts today. And they don't use the language of losing. You would never hear a top 1% person whine, complain, rates are too high, hard to sell this, I hate this business. They don't use that language. They lock in and they see it through to its conclusion. Those are the top 5 habits of the top 1%. And that was in a book I wrote called Flip the Switch. Okay, Flip the Switch. Great question right there. All right, I know you guys are on a tight time schedule. Any more questions? How many of you guys think you're going to get the book, Screw Your Why? Okay. And go through that 4 weeks with me. Okay. I'm telling you, the 4 weeks will be worth it. You'll find your skill. You'll find your problem for $97, guys. I'm not doing it to make a bunch of money. As you know, you don't make money on books. It's just, I want to help people. Okay. So the coaching comes with the book. All right. So when you get the book, you get the 4 weeks. So when you purchase that, you'll get everything you need for the 4 weeks, when it is, your Zoom links, all of those type things. And then you'll spend 4 weeks with me. We record all of those things. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll kind of dig deep into this. Okay. And the book's not out yet. So it's pre-order. You're ordering it right now. It should be out in the next couple of weeks. The only place you can get it is coachburt.com. It's not on Amazon. It's the only place you can get it is this one place. Okay. Any other questions? Jackie.
Yes, I appreciated your sewer cycle conversation and the C words that you used. So I got contend, complain. What were the other ones?
Comparing.
Compare.
Complaining. Contending. Criticizing. Complacency.
Thank you.
And for the real mean people, contentiousness. There's always a few of those out there that get contentious. Compare, complain, contend, criticize, complacency, contentious. Covey called those the 6 emotional cancers. And that's what people do when they go to the sewer cycle.
Hey, Coach, you earlier had mentioned about true freedom, and it's time freedom, money freedom, relational freedom, and what was the fourth?
Purpose freedom.
Purpose freedom. Thank you.
It means you get to get up and do what you really think you're supposed to be doing on planet Earth. Okay. Ronald?
Yes. What was number 5 after remarkable boldness, intrinsic motivation, connection, and ability to lock in?
Grit and resilience.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the great question, when you purchase the book, you'll get emails that tell you about the coaching. So you don't have to do that separately. Okay. So when you purchase the book, you'll get emails, and I see them kind of coming in right now. I love to see that when this little thing dings. It tells me people are buying the book. So as soon as you get that, you'll get instructions on your 4-week series. Okay. Good question.
Thanks so much, Burt.
You guys are awesome. Tom, thank you for the invite. We got to do something in California, man. I've been itching to get back to California.
Yeah, let's do it. Get you out here to Lake Tahoe again, right?
I love it. Okay. Love you guys. Make a great day. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all. Hey, thanks for jumping in here. This was amazing. So take one thing and put it into action. And what I would recommend, that one thing, is buy that book and join his coaching. So, and one thing that I have an announcement for any of you that are in Northern California. If you're not taking advantage of AI to get 1 or 2 or 3 more opportunities in your business every single month, you're missing the boat. So Amir Kachovich and myself, we're putting on a tactical conference. It's going to be at PCAR, Placer County Association of Realtors, next Thursday on the 30th, 10 to noon. It's free. A lot of people are trying to sell you a lot of stuff. It's free. You'll get some takeaways right away. So thanks, everybody. You got your inspiration. Time to put in your perspiration. See you next time. Bye now.